For many years, our next guest was one of Hollywood's most confirmed bachelors. But a talented young photographer has changed all of that. Here are Mr. and Mrs. Tony Perkins. Tony Perkins and Berry Berenson. Did you hear what he just said a moment ago about today's actors, putting them in a room and listening through a transom and they all sound alike?
Because he created the character in himself. He's distinguished.
Well, of course, I think so many people think of me from just one role.
Psycho?
Psycho. But a lot of people like a very different kind of picture, like Friendly Persuasion, you know? How long have you two been married now, Berry?
Just over a year. A year and a couple of months.
It's a long time.
How'd you change his mind about marriage? Because he waited a long time.
You better ask him that. I don't know.
How'd she do it, Tony?
Well, you know, you so often hear people talking about, well, yes, I'll get married if I find the right girl. And sooner or later, that almost becomes like, well, it's just not going to be the right girl. But I guess I found the right girl. You know?
Did you, upon meeting her, immediately say, this is it?
Well, absolutely. It was a kind of a big party, and there was really only one person that I really wanted to talk to at that party. And I just, when it was time for dinner, you know, it was one of those grab your plates and line up for the food. I just made sure that I was standing right next to her.
Nice move. Did you like him immediately?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I had sort of had a crush on him when I was younger, too, so I was like dying to meet him. And then the way I got to know him was I was doing interviews for Interview magazine at the time, and I asked him if I could go down and interview him. And that's how it all started.
Was he anything like you had imagined, having seen him on the screen and having liked him on the screen?
Everything and more, yes.
Really?
Yeah. Definitely.
That sounds great.
Let's hear about the more, because we know the everything. What was the, how did you break the ice? Who spoke first? Did you speak to her, Tony, first?
Well, yeah, I did. And as she said, she was working for this magazine, and it gave her a perfect reason to say, listen, I'd like to see you again for the sake of this interview. And then I had the perfect right to say, well, you know, I don't really think I want to give this interview. Or, as it happened, I said, sure, I'd really like to. So it's a great way for two people to get together, because they both have the opportunity to refuse.
Did she ask all the right questions?
Yeah, she did. She came down with a cassette player, you know.
Doesn't it make you nervous when they do it?
No.
Turn the tape on.
Actually, because you forget about it after a while.
You do, right.
It's easier in a way than with a pad, you know.
And she kept turning the thing over and then getting another one and turning that one over. And, you know, those cassettes can...
That's how Watergate got started.
Right.
But before we knew, we'd been there about 4 cassettes worth, both sides.
Hello. Was he a good interview?
Yes, very good. I hadn't done that many, you know, I was just like starting out.
I'd love to hear those cassettes sometime.
Yes, the cassette is better than the interview.
It's really interesting.
By the time we get around
It's the second time you meet your future wife, and you have this long 4-hour conversation on cassette. I think you're right.
You waited how long? How old were you when you got married, Tony?
42.
Are you sorry you waited that long?
No, I waited for all the right reasons.
Daddy's not sorry.
You son of a gun, boy. He drops those and thinks they're going to get away. And those right reasons. 42 years, boy, you must have a strong back. Has marriage changed your life a great deal, Tony?
It's simplified it, I think.
How?
Well, it's wonderful to live with one person and to live a life together, and especially now we have a child, and having a baby, particularly if you look after the baby yourselves, that really simplifies your life, because you don't have to worry about where you're going, because you're not going anywhere. and it's great, you know. Everything else kind of goes by the way, and you take care of the kids.
Are you a doting father?
Yes, he's a fabulous father. He's incredible.
I heard somewhere that you helped deliver the child.
Well, I was there because we were doing well, that's how it feels once you do the natural childbirth way, the father really feels very much part of it.
He took photographs. In fact, that's how close he was.
From a discreet angle.
Excuse me, is that by any chance that little bracelet that the baby wears in the hospital? It looks somewhat
Yeah, it
like
looks
one.
just like it. No, it isn't. This is something very good.
This is interesting. Tell them the baby's name. I love the name.
Well, the baby's name is Oz, as in the Wizard of, and it's spelled O-Z. But it's, in another way, it's short for his grandfather. My father, his name was Osgood, O-S-G-O-O-D. So he has it both ways. He has a fantasy name and a real name.
That's an unusual name. Why? How did you feel about the name, Barry?
At first, I wasn't sure. I had never heard the name before, Osgood. But then as soon as I saw him, I thought that's all he should be called. He should be called Osgood.
Oh, that's great.
And Oz seemed very appropriate.
How old is he?
He's 9 months old.
That's terrific. You want to have a larger family, Tony and Barry?
Oh, I don't know. You hear people talking about their first child and what an angel it was, you know, and then they say, "And our second child is really a pain in the neck." And you know, he's such a great baby that, in a way, you spoil for anything that would be different.
However, there is also a lot of people say the first child was the experimental child. But
And the second one is easier.
And the
Maybe,
second one is
yeah.
easier. There's something to that, too.
You were in there when she was having the delivery.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And did she go into the bit that they go into?
Which one?
Hi, you blankety blank.
Right.
You'll never.
She was pretty cool.
She was
That
cool?
whole thing,
Oh,
yeah.
that's great.
Was it a
I
natural?
didn't
Was it a natural
Yeah.
childbirth?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, then you went to class, didn't you, Tony?
We sure did.
And after 14 hours, you know, you're too tired to really...
You really don't know what's happening.
Were you in labor 14 hours?
14 hours.
Oh!
He was huge, though. He was like 9 pounds when he was born. So he was.
That's a big baby.
Yeah.
I was 9 pounds.
Were you? Hard on the mother.
My mother knows, believe me.
We're coming right back with everyone, right up.